Oh, thanks for joining our interview today. So, can you tell me about your job title as AMD?
Actually, if you have to mention the name of the company, should be the private. Cannot be
No, no.
recorded company name.
The job, your job
Yeah,
title.
yeah. The job titles, just the senior validation test engineer.
Test
Yeah,
engineer. Okay. And how long have you been working here?
15 years.
Wow, that's a long time.
Yep.
And can you tell me a little bit about your job description? What responsibility that you have to?
That's okay. That's a lot of a thing, because I recover for the most of the stuff. Look like for the OEM, the developer, and environment, safety environment, and make sure to bring up the product. At the beginning of the product, look like, and also the product beginning engineering sample. That's the beginning,
Mhm.
and after that they have the PVT. The PVT is mean a production product. Doesn't mean almost go out of production.
Okay.
So a, a way, the first thing is called a development first. The development called a DVT. So the DVT, that's the first sample. And we have to bring up the product, make sure the product working, make sure everything we desire, and we make the commitment
Mhm.
for it. Then otherwise, keep the bug until, absolutely working. And after the DVT phase, you have to move on from the DVT into the PVT phase. So the PVT look like almost a production phase. Doesn't mean that product we can provide to other OEM outside.
Okay.
So the partnership, developer, and most of the OEM company look like Taiwan company, the outside of the country. Make sure we tell them we have the product ready, and either they buy it or they just you know the design exactly the way we have, and they
Uh huh.
sell to the market. We are
Oh.
not the person sell the product.
Yeah. Yeah. I know.
We only make the silicon only,
Yeah.
and we just tell them the silicon working or not.
So you just deliver your product to all your OEM,
Just the OEM,
and they are the one who do the retail to the
they
market.
do the detail and the product
Okay. So
ship.
in in that relationship with the OEM, your company will design the board or the silicon
We
chip,
have
or they design and then they
no,
provide the design
we
for you.
have to support them
Okay.
from the beginning to all the way the product out the door. Whatever they need it, we have to be support them because they buy the silicon from us. So we just tell them exactly for the most of the thing.
Can you be a little bit elaborate more on how you support them in the design phase or?
Well, that's the company confidential too.
Okay. Yeah, that's
Cannot
right.
cannot tell that more detail,
Okay.
because if I just say too much detail, and we can't say
Ah,
anything
I
much.
know it's more about um, your responsibility on what
So
phase you support the
so that
OEM.
means I am the person make sure support them whatever they needed.
Mm-hmm.
Look like we have the design. We give them a design, and they're looking for the design, and they have some come up a lot of question mark if they did not understand, and they ask us. So
Also, that means your team will design the board and then
we design the platform,
the platform.
work with our silicon. So the
Uh-huh.
silicon doesn't mean the chip, the processor chip.
Mm.
So we just make sure the most of the thing, you know, working correctly. Then that's how the company work. We are not sell the product.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We
I
are
know.
not sell the computer. We not make the computer. We not make the computer product, but we make a silicon of the product.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's amazing work.
Yep.
I heard that in your working environment, you have really high standard for safety and quality, right? I remember that when someone tell me that
No,
they
well,
cannot tolerate for even a dust that get inside the lab.
no, we look like we have the most of the team around support, the most of all the design we have. Yeah, we just tell them, we just support them, whatever they needed. So another thing is, look like for example, they have the platform, but they turn out, the platform too much heat, to overheat,
Yeah.
so that's not right. So we have to test all the way, detail the beginning all the way to the product. Look like temperature, environment, everything. Yep, that's how product
Yeah.
work.
Can you tell me a little bit about your how can you maintain that high quality of safety in your work environment?
Well, the safety environment, we have a specification for our chip, and when they design the product, they just make sure the product work correctly for their environment,
Uh-huh.
not our environment.
Yeah.
Because we just tell them the chip working, but we
Okay.
didn't tell them, how to, we probably advise them a little bit cooler, how to make the product cooler, but we don't tell them the more detail. So each OEM, they have their own design too. They have to go, make sure the working correctly and everything correctly. Make sure the chip cool down, at 40-degree environment and something like that. And otherwise, they cannot, build a housing, put the product inside, and it's
Yeah.
too much overheat. Because the memory, processor, everything have to be heat up.
Yeah.
So, in other words, is we have a spec tell them how many, the total watt, how much the total watt they use. Look like how many memory they have, and what type of the power supply they need to be. So that's just a lot of detail.
Yeah, that's right.
But
Too much detail about hardware.
but but I'm saying that only the hardware environment.
Yeah.
If you talk in the software environment, that's huge.
Yeah, that's
too,
right.
you know.
Yeah. Understand
So
that.
the BIOS, the driver and everything's supposed to be work.
Yeah, that's
Another
right.
way.
Somebody tell me that building a microchip is like rocket science. It's really complicated. So you have been working here for 15 years. So can you tell me about your career path from the day you joined AMD until now,
Oh,
and your career path in
I
the future?
am come from the first company I joined first as an Apple computer. I have been there 13 years too. So
Wow.
so that's I have been in same environment, the hardware, working on the printers, scanners, and same thing look like the hardware stuff. So they have same thing. They have the development, the DVT. They have DVT one, DVT two, and until they release it, they have a PVT. So the PVT look like production, stuff.
Yeah.
So,
So basically, your expertise don't change from Apple to AMD because you work on the same field.
not
right?
much.
Yeah.
Different environment, but
Yeah.
the same.
The job description is the
Job,
same.
job, job, job description almost identical. I don't have to change that much. So look like involve ESD environment. That's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Huge.
So what are your first position as AMD? Is it different from your position now?
Which one?
I mean your job title. Is it different from when you first joined AMD with now?
Oh no, they are same. They are same.
The same.
Yeah, they did not change. Oh well, they probably changed from in the beginning, and right now I'm
Senior.
Senior.
Okay.
So does it mean I'm old?
No, it means you're senior.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
what happened in the next 5 years?
I don't know.
Do you want to change your career path or you want to keep?
No, I don't have any futures, for it. But my job just keep do whatever I do.
Okay.
I
So
never, I never think about, you know, changing something. I don't know.
does it mean like that because you love working with the hardware?
Very much based on it. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense to me.
very, very, very enjoy it. Look like, for example, if you have the board, you want to bring up the board. That's mean, the bring up. That's not mean we don't have nothing yet, just the board, right? So how do you bring it up that work? Does it mean you have to looking for the power source, connector, everything. Make sure that board bring up. Make sure that board the function of beginning, for the benchmark first.
Yeah.
Talking about in the chassis is a long way to go. You have to, the first thing, the engineering assemble first, and that's how they work.
Um, I want you to elaborate more about your benchmark. So it does the international benchmark or
Well,
your company?
performance,
Okay.
performance benchmark. Look
Yeah.
like, for example, well, the most of the product, when you have the product, you make sure your product better or faster than the another
Yeah.
or the
Yeah.
current
Yes.
the
I
product.
mean that
Yeah.
the benchmark is your company standard or is an international benchmark,
Oh, for nationwide.
a nationwide.
Yeah, for
Okay.
nationwide.
So this means that this benchmark have to be run by the other microchip company like
Yes,
Intel
they
as well.
they have another third party outside.
Okay.
They try to run too, because we have to tell them
Uh huh.
our product better, right? But how
Yeah.
but how better?
The benchmark. So it
Right.
should be international.
So so they have the group of the outside,
Yeah, exactly.
or some company outside, or maybe the government outside, or maybe some agency outside. They say, oh, this guy say they better. Okay,
Let's look at the
right,
benchmark.
right. let's let me sure
Let's the number
yeah,
say.
let the number. So you cannot hide it,
Yeah, that's right.
know.
And it's unbiased.
Right. So look like, for example, the engineering. When you work on the team, you have to be honest too.
Yeah.
If you see something, you better report right away. If you see something that's different, or if you see something not right, you have to bring it up to team. Not
Yeah.
look like, oh, never mind. That's that's not right.
Yeah, I think that there
Yeah.
must be million of components inside microchip.
Yep.
So a very tiny
Or maybe
error can be a
maybe the
disaster.
some component that interfere with another component, and when you see it, oh, okay, that's not good. You might see it, but another engineer cannot see it. But if you don't tell them, you don't brought it up. Oh, I saw that not right, and
Yeah.
so the guy design team, they look into it, or look like some header to interfere with another, connector, right?
Is it more about the working culture, the teamwork? So can you
you
tell
have,
me
you
about?
have to work on the teamwork.
Yeah.
Absolutely teamwork. The culture for the company,
Yes.
right? The culture's always for the company, but you have to be in the teamwork. That's why the product must be better.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're not honest, you're afraid to say something. That's when the company lose things, right?
Yeah.
Look like you saw the number not right, or they have the something to say. Okay, just boot up the OS to see they're working or not.
Yeah.
So then I'm load OS. This is not working correctly, but it's, oh yeah, working correct. That's not right. You have to tell the honest whatever you see it, or maybe you load the OS one time and another time they crash, and you have to write them down. What caused how that crash.
Yeah, I can imagine that at A
So
big company as level at AMD should be really big team,
they
and I understand that they understand that the teamwork is the most
same
important
thing,
thing.
same thing. Look like HP, Apple for the most. The higher, you
Okay.
know, the big company, they have a special people working on it. They have to be working on a
Yeah.
team. You
So
know,
how's the teamwork is built in particularly in your team? Do you have
uh,
like a training course or
now to teamwork. If you see something you don't know,
mm-hmm.
you have to ask, or maybe you say, "Oh, hey, I'm trying to do this but not working." Somebody knows something, somebody in your team have something suggest you to do this, do that. That's called a team up, the teamwork. But cannot be okay. Your own and your bench, and your lab. No, it's just not. It
Okay.
should be the teamwork.
Yeah.
So everybody have to be brought up something if something happening.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if I ask you to provide me one sentence to describe your teamwork culture, so what is it gonna be
Well, the teamwork,
in
cult,
one sentence?
the teamwork cultures is probably you have to be support for everything, and make sure the people have to be understand for the product. Well, the first thing, all your team have to be understand the product first.
Mm-hmm.
The easy way, to work with the team. If you don't know, you don't know the product. If we have the product and you never look at specification, you never see what this for, and that's difficult to work for, and
Mm-hmm.
you don't know.
Yeah.
You probably something happened. Oh,
Okay.
you cannot say you don't know. You have to figure out what's wrong, and
Yeah.
you have to lock
Okay.
everything, the detail. Most of the thing what wrong with it.
So it's like if you have a junior member to join your team.
We have that.
So
We have support them.
how
Yes.
how do you train the teamwork culture for that junior?
Well, the first thing we have to make sure work that person through for your culture. Make sure make sure that person understand how the team work, and make sure the person have to be understand a tool, some tool in the lab have to be, she's supposed to be understand, or he supposed to be understand all the tool. Then otherwise, well, the first couple months you have to work through with her,
Yeah.
show her how to do it, and make sure set the environment to do it. Not look like, don't be rush
Yeah.
on them to do it. Say they do it slow, but they do right.
Mm-hmm.
Not like they rush and they do it, but
Yeah.
they left something
Yeah.
behind.
Okay. I know that in some company they provide buddy for the junior. That buddy will help the junior when they join the company to train him about the culture, help him out when he runs
Yes,
into problem.
they
So
do.
is it happen the same thing in AMD?
They look like they have some people look like they just sign for the people to help that person, but that person can brought up a lot of things if they don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
They can ask everybody on the team.
Yeah.
Look like, for example, if I in charge her, I'm supposed to be train her, go through the process. But she don't have to be on me, or he don't have to be on me, but he can ask the other team. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If she's smart person, if she or he smart person, they better ask the people around. Just make sure, never know, right?
Yeah.
If
Sometimes it's good for
Yeah.
him to do networking.
right. Look like if you trust that person, train you, but never know, that person never ever be show you 100%.
Yeah.
They're probably hiding something.
Yes.
But for me, I'm not. when I take care, when some people don't know nothing, or they want to know something, if I know something, I have to tell. If I don't know something for that stuff, I have to be provide to another person understand that issues and tell her, walk her through, make sure she understand it. That's
Yeah,
just,
that's great.
in work environment, you cannot say, "Oh, I don't know." That's
That's the bad thing to say to the
yes,
manager, right?
yes, no, no, not the manager for, but for everybody in the team.
Uh-huh.
You just tell, uh, "I'm not sure, but I will be looking to it."
Hmm.
Doesn't mean if you have time, you have to look into it. Make sure you understand a little bit more. Then after that, you tell that person.
Yeah, that's a great.
You know,
That's a culture.
right? That's 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 for the culture.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Um, Regarding to the skill, so I understand that for it's very arbitrary for the computer career that someone may have bachelor, master, or someone can have um, no certificate, no degree, and they done really well in some particular occupation. For example, like Snowden, he worked for
Well,
FBI, and
the doesn't matter how the person have a high education or have a low education, but each the person they have a good skill their own. They have a good technical question.
yeah.
If you know how to ask the question, the people can be answer the good question.
Yeah. So if a person who want to join your team in particular, so what kind of degree should he has?
Depend what the job description is.
Okay.
Based on the job description first.
So it's like if he want to join your team, working as the evaluation test engineer. So what kind of degree should he have?
Well, that's I mean they probably have at least maybe the minimum for maybe for the AS
Mm-hmm.
degrees, or maybe there's some a school for the electronics score,
Okay.
or maybe that person have been work environment before,
Okay.
and they learn from it, and that should be the good skill too.
Yeah.
That's not mean you go to school that's a good skill. No, some of the people go a lot of school but they don't have skill. But there's some of the people they less of school, but they work a lot and they have a good skill.
Yeah. Agree.
Right.
That happened a lot in this field.
Right. So based on the person, and if the person have a good technical question,
Mm-hmm.
and they will a good person too.
Yeah. So can I ask you that the bachelor in electrical engineering is the closest qualification
Very
needed
much.
for your work?
Very much. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Very
Great. So what are other important skills needed for your position?
Maybe from some work experience they have. Look like they have been in that environment before, maybe 2 year or 3 year, and plus some of the bachelor degree.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
about the particular skill. Like for example, like you need to be able to understand the hardware circuit or consider.
Not necessary. They probably they have some electronic score. They know the basics on it. Then they can join the team and they can learn from the team. Or if they work the company, they have been working that company couple of years. They even the skill not match, but the same field should be. That's not different.
Yeah.
Look like if they have been working on look like camera or some phone or some some
Anything that has the circuit
right
board.
the refrigerator, everything they touch on the circuit board,
Yeah.
they probably understand for the
Okay.
circuit.
So,
Yeah.
So what about the soft skill?
Well, the soft skill probably you probably know based on the hardware you probably know understand a little bit about software also.
No,
That's
no, I mean about the soft skill is like
oh
resilient or patient, hardworking, that
well,
kind of
oh
soft
well,
skill.
okay. Well, that's that that depend individual people. Some of the people working hard, you know. Some of the people, you know, you know, when they join the team, they really love it. You
Mm-hmm.
know, they they work deeper. They enjoy it, and also when they join the team, they work with the good people around. They probably have a you know enjoy it
You
for the
mean that communicate well with people?
communication with the people too, and absolutely the communication. That's the major thing
Mm-hmm.
on the job. Job create today everything communication.
Yeah, that's right. Especially it's a big team, right?
The big team, my team look like big. You know, they in Austin they have a different state, or maybe the some OEM they have a different overseas.
Mm-hmm.
You have to you have to work with them. So the communication should be the major on the job skill.
Yeah,
You
the
know,
top soft skill.
right
May I say that?
on the top.
Yeah.
If you don't know how to answer the question, you probably you lost it. You know, and if you answer any question and you don't know how to ask, they probably they probably confused and they probably say, "Oh, can you let me know a little bit more detail what you mean?"
Hmm. Okay.
So work in work environment, you don't have to be the first thing. Don't guess. Guess is the wrong thing.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
You assume. Don't ever assume too.
Yeah.
But you have to make sure that work.
Yeah, understand that producing a chip is exact science. You
Right.
cannot do guessing.
Don't say, oh yeah, I'm guessing. No, that's not guessing.
It's not work.
It does not work.
Okay. So.
But you probably try it your own time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, make sure you understand a bit more. But don't guess from the front of the team. If you fail,
The team will pay for it.
right, then you have to fail, right?
Yes.
Or maybe around with the customer, some of the customer, you know, visit your lab. If you don't know something, don't try it. Don't try from the front of the vendor.
Oh, that will damage the whole company.
Something you don't
That's a
know.
big deal.
Or don't talk something if you don't know how to talk.
Yeah.
Yep.
In your work, is it required to be hardworking, or you usually have to overtime?
Uh, the R&D never have overtime.
Great.
But we work and make the job done. It's not for the time. Look like for example, if you have to bring up the board, then the board not working, and the team have to be make the time. For each people, make sure you understand until the board's working.
Yeah.
Not look like you working and and look like Russ. They want to know what's going on. They say, oh, forget it. Come back work tomorrow. No.
Is there any case that the OEM pressure your team on the deadline?
They never they they never ever give us the pressure on that. They just say try as soon as possible.
Yes.
Doesn't mean we also can say yes, we know that issues, but we might have the new countermeasure as soon as we can. But don't ever say I have that for you tomorrow. if you sure you can be done tomorrow, then you say tomorrow.
Yeah, that's
But
right.
if you don't sure, you just say yes. We can get that done as soon as we can,
Yes.
right? So doesn't mean that
Yeah. And I can assume that for OEM, they don't dare to pressure the microchip producer if they want to have a good microchip.
The OEM, the OEM, they say something too. If you have the partnership with them, if you buy some stuff from them, right,
Okay.
and something not working, you ask them. Then they they never give you the answer right away. They have to
Uh-huh.
put the team together
Yeah.
to figure out what's going on. They will be answered to you as soon as they clear and they understand that issues, and they give you the answer.
Yeah, that's very thoughtful.
They they cannot jump into conclusion say, "Hey, I know that issues." No, they won't say that.
Yeah.
The most of the Japanese people were very smart too. They never ever mistake to
Yeah.
speak it.
Totally agree and understand on that. I've been working with Japanese people before. They're very careful, very careful and responsible.
When they say something, they make sure they understand something.
Yes.
They don't, person they don't want to guess.
Yeah,
And
that's
if it's
right.
something they don't know, they put the team together. They have a meeting together. They make sure everybody stand the issues.
Yeah, that's
If
right.
somebody agree that right, and they have to spit out.
Yeah, I've been working with people, Japanese people before, and I can assure you that whenever they say something, they understand it into the bone.
So that's why the Japanese they always use distributor when they even the guy the power person or the regular guy they they understand English really well, but they
Hmm.
never say English.
Yeah, yeah, that's
They
right.
assume
That's true.
they always have distributor to help them.
Hmm.
So that means they have more time to think about it. You know.
How is the culture diversity in your team? I mean, the people. Um, is can I assume that because AMD you have the policy for race diversity, right? So it should be you may have Asian, Latino
Oh yes,
in your team.
they probably come from the different other countries, but don't ever bring up the reason at work.
Yeah, yeah, I
You know,
understand that.
whatever they have, you know, that's when you join the company will be give you the test
Uh-huh.
for look like the work environment test. Make sure you understand the policy of the company.
Uh-huh.
So the first thing, don't don't talk the high voice. You know, talk to the patient. No yell, no nothing, and don't ever laughing for the most people on the front of you.
Okay.
Yeah, they have that test. The big company, they have all kinds of tests. Security test, environment test, and harassment test too.
Harassment, yeah.
So the every 2 years you have to take 5 tests.
Yeah, that's right.
Security, make sure you lock the computer before you left or something like that. Or they just put that's mean they have the the documentation. They let you know the policy of the company, so you have to understand for your work environment.
Yeah, okay.
You know,
So I think that that's just good. That's just for the sake of the employee, because we don't want them to go to the jail accidentally if
well,
they violate some law.
so they they have that test.
Okay.
When you join the company, you have to pass that test too.
Yeah,
You know,
I agree. That's important.
yeah.
So, do your company have any kind of code of ethic?
They do, but that should be. I think we have yes, we have that test too. The requirement.
Yeah. Okay. So can you name me some of the code of ethic in your work environment?
Well, each company they have a special policy for it. I think some of the policy you cannot bring it up to the public.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Okay.
you know, some of the
Yeah.
document they give it to you. They say confidential. So that means when they stamp confidential stuff, that means not the outside the public.
Okay. Can do you run into the situation about an ethical situation in your workplace? It's like some event happen and you have to decide what should you do because maybe it's not the right thing to do.
No, well, if in work environment, each company they have their own emergency number.
Uh-huh.
You cannot call out 911 at all.
Yeah. So do you run into some situation that you need to call the emergency number, or did you witness some
You
case?
have to call company policy emergency number first.
Yeah.
The internal take care first.
Yeah. Have you ever been in that situation, or have you ever seen that situation before?
Not really.
Okay,
Well,
that's a good thing then.
So, because the most of the company they give you the test.
Okay.
You know, you understand the security test, environment test, harassment test. That's when each person know what to do, what to say, and look like a lab environment too. So
Yeah.
for example, if some company have the accident inside the company, if each year you report more than I don't know how many times, maybe 4 and 5 times. So that's mean the city will be go after you. And each year the fire department, the fire department they of the city they have to go inspection the building, inspection your lab.
Inspect for what?
Yeah, for space, everything. Make sure you have the clear, space, work environment.
Okay. Is it for just clean and tidy, or?
Yeah, for clean up the hallway stuff.
Okay.
Not look like you cannot put everything the block of the hallway, or maybe you cannot put everything higher than, on the top of it. So
Okay.
they are afraid look like something happened, an earthquake or whatever.
Is there any professional organization that related to your job?
Yeah, they probably they have the lot of people. The lot of people have to be, go learn, look like if the job requirement, the different tool,
Mm-hmm.
a special tool have to be working on it, and you will be on trend,
Okay.
first,
Yeah.
you know.
So is there any journal or magazine that in your field?
No, that's everything like that. They go on to the company, not going to the individual.
Uh-huh.
Never can be individually,
Okay.
So they always look like journal, stuff, whatever it is. That's the company.
Yeah. So do you read any journal or magazine or news to improve your knowledge in your field?
No,
Okay.
not individually.
Okay. So if for any young engineer that want to join AMD and working in your field, for example, so what advice that you think is useful for them?
Well, so everybody will be going to process for the interview first.
Yeah, of course.
But the interview process look like not only one person or two person. Probably for to put more people
Yeah.
they can look like 4 or 5 people for, on the job interview. Make sure they understand that person
Okay.
very well,
Yeah. So
and they have to be checking the background, everything. Not even on your resume you say something, but they probably check on it.
Yeah.
Too.
So, do you think is there any kind of cost that may be useful if they and that student should study if they want to join your team? Maybe some costs that related to electrical engineering in particular.
Well, what I mean cost? Cost what?
Yeah, I mean like a class.
Oh, I never see that. I never see that. Maybe on the software, yes,
Okay.
they can, but maybe some people join the team, but they don't have good skill on the software.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have Linux skill. Probably manager requested,
Yeah.
send that person go
Okay.
to learn, you know,
So regarding to the
The-
software,
learn a space.
you mean the programming, right?
No, look like the general use
Okay.
only.
Yeah.
Look like some of the people have to use the window,
Mhm.
but some of the people zero knowledge about some command of the Linux stuff.
Okay.
But if your workforce, your work environment changes,
Okay.
we support the company have the Linux more than the Windows, so that they require our team have to be London.
Yeah. So it means that in your team you mostly use Linux,
Both.
both Linux and
Yeah.
Windows. Okay. If there's any internship opportunity in your team,
No.
okay. So can you tell me about your vision into the future of your company? Maybe in nine,
Well,
5 or 10 years later.
Nobody know. Nobody know what's going on.
Maybe yeah, I understand that. Can you maybe your idea on where the company will going, what they will be in the future of 5, 10 years?
The way I'm thinking, maybe if our economy go up, yeah, of course the company will go up. But if you're talking about the product, the future product, nobody know.
Okay.
Nobody know.
I
That also another policy confidential of the company.
yeah.
It's company.
But maybe at a high level, I understand.
They probably
that,
know. Yes.
I understand that for AMD, Intel, they compete with each other for a very long time.
They do.
And yeah, in a lot of proportion of the microchip market.
Right.
So may I ask that? Do you think that maybe in the 5 or 10 year later, AMD will beat Intel in the market of mobile processor?
Well, either Intel they don't have the product on the mobile. They never have. They only do server stuff.
Yeah, that's right. But now they are working on that.
The mobile product, only the Nvidia stuff.
Yeah.
And Nvidia they do the mobile product.
Yeah.
Even AMD we not do that
Okay.
market either.
So you mean that in the future, now and even in the future, AMD will not working on
I don't know about
the
that.
market on the mobile,
Not that I
microchip
know.
for mobile.
Not that I know. Yep.
Okay. So
Cái đó là cái đó là cái của hãng đó phải không? Yep.
yeah. Hai cái bên.
Okay.
Gần xong rồi.
Cái mấy cái gì vậy? Yeah. That's probably done, right? Probably good.
Yeah, that's
I don't
good.
know.
Do you have any vision on the direction of the microchip industry? Do you think like where it will going in the next 5-10 years?
For my level, I don't think so.
Okay.
Probably some people hire director.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for the interview. It's really great.
They know the channel. I don't know channel. I don't know the future.
Yes.
I just
Cái này muốn sẵn hết rồi này, về muốn chiên ăn thì chiên.
Tâm xuống đi lót con Tâm.
Không đi
À.
không? Không đi, ông đi hãng làm.